Thank you, Acting Speaker. And I rise to make a contribution on the Gambling Legislation Amendment Bill 2025. And it has been interesting listening to other contributions on both sides of the House. And I'm sure my local newsagent is going to be devastated that they've been thrown in the same bucket as some dodgy gambling operators and money launderers and the evils that are gambling. Now, no one on this side of the House is saying that we shouldn't be working toward gambling harm minimisation. That's not what we're saying at all. This bill does nothing to help that. Nothing to help that at all. And I've said before, when speaking on gambling legislation in this place, right now we have, following the Royal Commission into Crown Casino and with other measures introduced, I know that some of my local venues are very, very strict on making sure they are compliant, they go above and beyond, they know a lot of their regulars and they do a lot of work to minimise harm. What this bill does is introduce 2 new taxes. Now that is not, and again, the local newsagents that are also Tattersalls outlets, newsagents are a dying business, particularly in regional areas with the demise of the print version of the local paper, or of every paper really. Newsagents are finding it harder and harder to stay in business, and I know of at least 3 that have closed down in the last 12 months because of the extra tax burden, how hard it is to do business in this state. And now they're going to be forced with another one, not 24 hours after the Treasurer professed that there would be no new taxes. First bill up, 2 new taxes. So you can understand how, you could understand perhaps of why we are opposed to it on this side of the House. Now, while some of the changes in the bill to update and consolidate the process for gambling licences, there are those few major changes that are likely to have an impact on the industry that is quite unfavourable. Now, again, in my community, some of these venues and small businesses, such as newsagents that are often Tats outlets, are also the greatest supporter of community clubs, schools, events. In fact, the Mildura RSL, this will hit them, the Mildura RSL are a great RSL club. And they do a huge amount. Their Anzac Day services every year are wonderful. Their venue itself is fantastic. They are even supporters of the Farnsworth Lockheed Lowe Scholarship to send students on a pilgrimage to Trek Kokoda in July of this year, which allows some direct descendants of those that were killed during Australia's campaign in Papua New Guinea to go there for the first time. That's a gaming venue. That's not evil. The Mildura Gateway, again, huge supporters of the amount of money that they give back and put into community groups, into sports teams, into anything that they possibly can support, they absolutely do, because they are locally owned, they are locally operated, and they understand what's needed. So they are continuously giving back, and they're also one of the venues, as well as the Mildura RSL and the Working Man's Club, that are very stringent on making sure they are compliant with everything, not just with gaming, but with responsible service of alcohol, responsible service of gambling, all of that. They are intent on making sure harm is minimised because they know it's bad for business. But what else is bad for business? More taxes, more red tape, more compliance. It's never ending. So you can see why a few thousand people turned out today, and they're not just, yes, a lot of them are CFA volunteers, a lot of them are career firefighters, a lot of them are farmers, but it's the straw that's breaking the camel's back. As I said earlier, there is only so much that we can put up with, and we are done. and for the Treasurer to say yesterday there will be no new taxes, and then on the very day introduce 2 new taxes, I mean the absolute arrogance of this government. It's hypocrisy. It is the definition of hypocrisy. And for those that say it's not, Clause 7, it says that the minister is also empowered to require the monitoring licence to pay a premium payment as consideration for the extension of the monitoring licence. The premium payment is a tax, and the amount or amounts equal to the premium payment must be paid into the Hospital and Charities Fund. Which charities? Like the member for Narrabeen said, which charities? We don't know which charities. It could be a dodgy charity. If we're going to talk about dodgy gaming venues, let's talk about some charities that are set up for what? We know that they exist. So we do not know exactly. There is no guarantee. You cannot trust this government to put the money where they say it's going to go. But to impose more taxes on a day when a budget is handed down, 24 hours after the Treasurer says no new taxes, there's 2. There is 2, and this will impact 1,380 outlets across the states. I mean, tats you can buy, and we're slugging the venues. And like I said, in communities right across the state, not just mine, but right across the state, a lot of them are locally owned. Like I said, newsagents that are tats outlets, community clubs and pubs. These are the ones that are going to be paying for this and pushing people. If they close down, then where are people? Problem gamblers are still going to find a way to gamble. So you're pushing people to lose their homes in their homes, where the online sector is largely unregulated. So what does that do for gambling harm minimisation? Nothing that I can see. Now, we saw the thousands of people on the steps of Parliament today, last week, the week before, and I tell you what, with all of the taxes that they have been imposed, farmers and Victorians will need to win Tats Lotto to be able to pay all the taxes that they have to pay. So there might even be an uptake in Tats ticket and quick picks. I'm sure the member for Murray Plains is a regular Tats player. Not that silly. Well, I know that there will be a few that are hanging on because of the advertising that is currently allowed, and I know that is federal jurisdiction, but that hasn't stopped members on the other side talking about federal issues today. I'm sure that there will be those that are really trying to manifest a Tats Lotto win because they need it, particularly when the government releases a $350 million public transport package, which is great, free transport for those under 18, great, but a $15 million drought fund, for infrastructure, which is of no help to food and fibre producers, no help. Let's talk about the rebate on that levy. Let's talk about it is capped. If you want to talk about the amount of money that they are going to have to pay in this levy, it is capped. They have to apply for it time after time after time. The administration that it is required is absolutely ridiculous. And then a $15 million drought fund for infrastructure, to build a hay shed to put no hay in, or to build a shed to put no feed in? How ridiculous. To drought-proof Victoria during a drought. This is a fund that should be available well before a drought hits. This is a lack of foresight. So for $15 million announced for certain LGAs that doesn't go anywhere near as far north as it should go is absolutely preposterous. It's another kick in the teeth to farmers and to regional Victorians.